Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see this our town of Halloween. This is Halloween, this is Halloween. Pumpkin scream in the dead of night. This is Halloween, everybody make a scene. Trick or treat, till the gates gonna die a fight. It's our town, everybody scream. This town of Halloween. The one hiding under your bed, teeth found sharp and eyes going red. I am the one hiding under your stairs, fingers like snakes and spiders in my hair. This is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween. In this town we call home, everyone hail to the pumpkin song. In this town, don't we love it now? Everybody's waiting for the next surprise. Round that corner, man, hiding in the trash can. Something's waiting at the house, and now you're screaming. It's Halloween, red and black and slimy green, but you're scared. That's just slime. Say it once, say it twice, take a chance and roll the dice. Ride with the moon in the dead of night. Everybody scream, everybody scream. In our town of Halloween. I am the clown with the tearaway face, here in the clash and go without a trace. I am the blue with the call who's there. I am the wind blowing through your hair. I am the shadow of the moon at night, filling your dreams to the brim with fate. This is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween. Tender ramblings everywhere, life's no fun when you're in scare. Guns so jump on midnight in our town of Halloween. In this town, don't we love it now? Everybody's waiting for the next surprise. Skeleton Jack may get you in the back and scream like a banshee. Make you jump out of your skin. This is Halloween, everybody scream. Won't you please make way for a very special guy? Our man Jack is king of the pumpkin patch. Everyone hail to the Pumpkin King now. This is Halloween, this is Halloween, 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 Halloween. In this town we call home, everyone hail to the pumpkin song. We did it. Wasn't it terrifying?
Picked a great name, but your voice doesn't quite match it?
We have a fix.
VoiceMod gives you over 150 lag-free, real-time voice changers and unlimited.
Give me a sec. Hello, this is Nagoji here. Welcome to Reaction. What am I doing? It's not a reaction video. Hello, this is Nagoji here. Welcome to another spooky anime review. And today we are reviewing the final one for this month. I'll probably do some more spooky anime reviews next year, probably. Even though I probably have to Google search some spooky anime, horror anime that I probably haven't seen. So next year will probably be newer. That's stuff I haven't seen. I don't know that much spooky anime horror besides Soido. So next month will probably be a little bit different. But today we'll be watching Demon Slayer. Next year will probably be different. This month I was originally planning to do a Soido review, but you know what? I'll say that for next year. Today we are reviewing Demon Slayer Infinity Castle movie 1 out of 3. Part 1. Or whatever you want to call it. Infinity Castle movie 1. Return of Alcazar, how many titles it's got. The point is, we're moving we're reviewing Infinity Castle movie 1 out of 3. And what do I think of this movie? It's awesome. It's peak. Like, come on, the animation. You already know how I feel about Demon Slayer. Like, come on, look. I got 2 posters. I got a Nezuko jacket. And I got this. I got that. Come on. You already know what I think of Demon Slayer, okay? I got an entire collection. Yeah. I love Demon Slayer, okay? It's one of my favorite animes. It's like in my top 5, even though I do think about top 3. I think it's my top 3 favorite animes. The only 2 animes are Bobby Inuyasha and Fairy Tail. Because Fairy Tail is nostalgia, and Inuyasha I do think is the best anime. But it's top 3 of my 3 favorite animes. And one with the other 2 are it's Spy X Family and Ruby. Yeah, those are my top 5. But this is what I think of the Demon Slayer movie, and I'm gonna go into spoilers and tell you what happens. I have seen the movie, not in ways I can't say on YouTube because I would get. Let's just say I watched the movie somehow. You might be wondering how I watched the movie. Just say I watched the movie. I watched the movie somehow. Don't ask me how, because I will get in trouble, and I'll get $1 million fine for watching the movie because affordable. What the fuck are you doing with piracy? Okay, anyway, but here's what I think of the movie. I enjoyed it. I loved it. The animation is stellar. It's just stellar. Come on. It's peak animation. I love the animation. It's one of the best animated movies that came out this year. That's anime. I'm not including K-pop Demon Hunters because I do think that movie. Well, actually, no, I think this movie's a little bit better, mostly because of the story. No, I do kind of like K-pop Demon Hunters. Okay, I love Demon Slayer. It's the best anime from Japan. It's the best anime to come out this year from Japan. I'm gonna say that right now. Like, the animation is peak. Like, we've been waiting for so long for some of these fights, like Shinobu versus Doma. Ever since we got teased that Doma killed Shinobu's sister, we've been waiting for that fight forever. We've also been waiting for, and I guess the rivalry between Kangaku and Zenitsu. We've been wondering what happened to Kangaku, and we finally know what happened to him. And he turns himself into a demon. What a dirtbag. I'm so glad he died in that movie. He turned himself into demon and get beheaded by Zenitsu in the second battle of this movie. The first battle is sad. I already know what's about to happen. That Shinobu is going to die. She had no chance against Doma. Like, even when she do some of her powers, true, she gave Doma a fight, but let's be real, Doma didn't. Doma was way too powerful for Shinobu. Shinobu was the weakest Hashira. She stand no chance against him. I feel so sorry for Shinobu. May Shinobu rest in peace. Shinobu! 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 One second. Shinobu! 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 No. No. miss you, Shinobu. You were the best female character in this anime. Shinobu, we will miss you. We will miss you. Okay, joking aside, but I did cry the first time when Shinobu passed away, when she got killed by Doma. I did cry because that did make me cry because I actually did care about that character. That did make me cry the first time I watched it. Like, it made me cry. Like, seeing Shinobu just die made me cry, and made me cry. It made me cry. Yeah, it brought tears in my eyes. Yeah. And now that she's gone, I want to see Doma die. I want to see that bastard die by Canal. Should I mention the spoiler that's going to happen in movie 2? Nah, I'll wait till movie 2 happens. But Canal will probably get her revenge for Shinobu and defeat Doma in movie 2. Probably. That's probably what's going to happen. If I had to guess what was going to happen in movie 2, I'm guessing we're going to Doma fight and Kobashibu. That's what's going to happen in movie 2. And movie 3 is... I think we get... In movie 2, I think we get defeat of Upper Moon 4, whatever her name is, the one controlling Bethany Castle, Upper Moon 2, and Upper Moon 3. We get defeat of those 3. And then, yeah. But for this movie, what I think of the Doma fight, it was pretty cool. I loved it. It was awesome. Seeing Shinobu fight Despy, even though she was clearly outmatched by Doma. And just, yeah. It's sad to see Shinobu go, and then it kind of looks like Doma cares for Shinobu. Why does Doma care for Shinobu? That's one thing I don't understand. Did Doma actually care for Shinobu's feelings? Like, if that were the case, why didn't you just turn Shinobu into a demon? That made... Whatever. Okay. Sure. Why not? Sure. But, yeah. And then the Zenitsu versus Hengaku fight is pretty entertaining. It's pretty fast. Even though I think the manga was longer. I'm not mistaken, but I believe the manga fight for that fight was a little bit longer and a little bit more drawn out. I'm not mistaken, right? Wasn't the manga fight lasted a couple more panels and was a couple more issues? Wasn't it a little bit longer than what we actually got in the movie? Like, didn't it last like a little bit longer? I could have swore that fight lasted a little bit longer, because that fight just came by really quick. Like, it just came by really quick. Yeah, it's cool, but it just came by really quick, and not much. We don't really... Yeah, it just comes by really quick, and we get to see Zenitsu talk to Hengaku, and pretty much what happens is that Zenitsu is pretty much mad because he's the reason why his master granted offed himself. Something I can't say on YouTube, but offed himself. And pretty much, yeah, ended. Yeah. Yeah. I can't say on YouTube because I will get demonetized. But you know what happens in the anime. So, and Zenitsu is mad about that. That Hengaku was the reason for it, and wants to get revenge for his master, and fights Hengaku. And then we get a glorious conversation, dialogue of them talking to each other, comparing themselves, sizing them up. And then they fight. And that was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. It was fun. It was fun. It was amazing. Like, the animations in these fights are pretty cool. The Shinobu fight, epic. Pingaku versus Zenitsu's fight was cool. Even though I'm questioning the black lightning for Hengaku, like, why is it change colors from like red and black blue to blue and black? Why does it do that? Is it just because they can't animate black lightning, so they just outline the red? Because if you do, I didn't understand that part. So why did it change colors? Because it was actually black at one point, and then for some reason, it just Hengaku's lightning just changed colors for some reason. I don't understand that. Maybe it's because he's using a different form. I guess that could be a reason. But why does he keep on changing like colors throughout the fight? I know Zenitsu's inconsistency does change colors from blue to yellow sometimes, but you can tell it's mostly yellow, but that it's mostly a yellow that transitions to blue. But his just changes colors for no reason, so I don't understand that. But the fight was entertaining. It was pretty cool, and I was so glad that Hengaku died. Bastard deserved to die for killing that poor old man. And Zenitsu unlocks 7th form and surpasses Hengaku because Hengaku was only able to do 6 forms. Meanwhile, Zenitsu was able to do a 7th form, 7th and final form. Even though, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the manga say it was in the movie? It said 7th form, but in the manga, that said it was its 13th or 14th form that he did. That's a bit confusing, so I'm not sure which one of those is. That's a bit confusing because in the manga, I'm pretty sure the form Zenitsu did to kill Hengaku was was either 13th or 14th form. So, okay, I'm just assuming it was 7th form because that's what it says in the movie. I don't know. Maybe someone can point that out in the comment section of which form it was in the manga, which form was it in the movie, the differences between forms in the movie. Like, why is there less forms for Zenitsu in the anime, but more forms in the manga? I don't know. I think maybe it was always 7th form, and I just misread that wrong in the manga. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, pretty interesting. And then, okay, and then we get some stuff with Nezuko and Inosuke, which is pretty much just filler. And then we get some stuff with Zenitsu weighing down. Tanjiro is also running. Everybody's running throughout the Infinity Castle. And then Tanjiro and Gyu all together. And then Akaza appears. And then comes my major issue with the movie. Akaza takes up too much screen time. Yeah. That's my major issue with the movie. Akaza takes up a majority of the screen time of the movie. Like, that's my major issue I have with this movie, is that I get it. You want to show off Akaza because we've been waiting years for this battle from Tanjiro versus Akaza. I get it. You want to show off Akaza. But he just comes in like we're only an hour and 5 minutes in, and he comes in, and this movie is 2 hours and 35 minutes long, and the majority of the movie is like that. Like, the first hour and 30 minutes is actually pretty cool. Akaza just comes in and steals the show. Granted, it's awesome to see Akaza. It's granted to see this. Granted, the fight is awesome. It's cool. It's a spectacle to behold. I love the fight. Don't get me wrong, the fight's cool and all. It's epic. I enjoy the fight. It's just it takes up way too much time, and I do think that the Akaza fight could have been cut down a little bit more. It could have been cut down. Like it did not need to be that long. Like it did not need to drag on for that long. Like you did not need to drag on the fight for that long and add a backstory. Yeah, granted, you could have added a backstory, but you could have shortened the backstory. You didn't have to have it go on for like a whole 30 minutes. You could have had it gone on for like 20 minutes. You did not need to have his backstory be ridiculously long. And you did not need to focus the majority of the runtime towards Akaza. Like, that's my major issue with this movie, is that it focuses a little bit too much on Akaza. Just a little bit too much. Like, the majority of the movie is focused on Akaza. Just the glorious spectacle of Akaza. Akaza. This movie should have been called Akaza the movie. Like, I'm not joking, because most of the movie is focused on Akaza. Like, did we really? Who am I kidding? The fight's pretty cool. I enjoy the fight, so I don't. It may be a major issue, but it doesn't bring down the movie. In my opinion, it's still good. Like the fight's awesome. Plus we've been waiting for this fight for years, ever since Basta Face destroyed I forgot his name. Rengoku, yeah. Killed Rengoku. So we've been waiting for this fight for years. So yeah. We've been waiting for this fight for years. It's been something I wanted to see happen ever since I seen Rengoku get donuts. So I've been waiting for this fight for years. Tanjiro versus Akaza featuring Giyu. Yeah, most of this fight's pretty much Giyu versus Akaza, and Tanjiro just intervenes. He's backline. Even though he does help throughout the fight, it feels like most of this fight is just between Giyu and Akaza is trying to take down another Pasha, and almost does take down Giyu if it wasn't for Tanjiro unlocking Spirit Fighting Force, whatever that was. I don't know. It's not movie explained well. It's not explained. I think it's Fighting Spirit, so we're going by Super Godzilla logic, I guess. We're going by Super Godzilla logic. Fighting Spirits. Okay. They clearly took that from Super Godzilla. That's not me joking or anything. They really took Fighting Spirit from Super Godzilla. That is legit what it's called in the game. Fighting Spirit. But okay. I don't know if that was just a coincidence that it's called the same thing that Akaza uses, is fighting the same thing that he uses in this movie. It's called Fighting Spirit. I don't know if that's just a coincidence that's called Fighting Spirits. I don't know. But we do see him use Fighting Spirit and beheads Akaza, and then Akaza tries to stay alive, keeps his head on. Giyu beheads him. And yeah, doesn't really bad. Just pushes to hit him, so it was like a team effort. So yeah. And this fight really but Akaza doesn't want to go down. Yeah. The fight, Giyu versus Akaza, Giyu and Tanjiro versus Akaza goes on for a very long time. But Akaza doesn't want to go down after he gets killed by Tanjiro and Giyu. And it's pretty much it for the fight. But Akaza doesn't want to go down. He has his head. his head disintegrated, but his body is not disintegrating. So they try to destroy the body, but it doesn't work. And his head regrows. And yeah, it kind of looks weird. And the fight still continues with a headless Akaza, and then Akaza has flashback moments of his past, blah 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 blah. Flash moments of his past. Yes, it was tragic. Yada 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 yada. It was tragic. We get it. Akaza had a tragic past. We get it. I understand that was in the manga, but you didn't need a. Did we really need a reason for this? Like, think about it. This guy killed Rengoku. How much more cool would it have been if we didn't get a backstory for Akaza? Like, how much cooler if we didn't know who Akaza was and we just saw him kill himself. And then we just see this girl come out of nowhere. Family come out of nowhere. We don't get a backstory for Akaza. Like, how much cooler would it have been if we didn't get the backstory for Akaza and we just saw. We didn't see the whole backstory part and we just saw them at the end. Like, who were these people? That would have left us questions. Yes, it would have left us questions on who they are, but I'd rather have more questions than spend and knowing the backstory. I'd rather, yeah, we could have still seen parts of the backstory, like maybe the part when they die, but not like the whole backstory. We didn't need to see the whole backstory. We just need to see itsy bitsy pieces of the backstory. But hey, that's just anime. I guess they just wanted to give the backstory, but whatever. The backstory happens because it's tragic and that part of the movie I'm not really interested in because it's Akaza. Why do we need a story for Akaza? A guy who killed Rengoku. I am not forgiving that bastard, even if he has a tragic backstory. That guy deserves to go to hell, okay? No. No, I am not forgiving Akaza for what that bastard did. He killed many Hashiras. He killed many people as a demon. No, I don't give a flying fuck about his backstory. No. No, I do not care about his backstory. This guy didn't deserve a backstory, but he got one anyway. So, man, whatever. It is what it is. Let's. Why does movie have to focus on Akaza? I did enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. The actual fight is pretty cool, but the backstory just needed to be cut down. We didn't need the backstory. Like, it just dragged on the movie for way too long. I still love the movie, don't get me wrong. It's just that this. Yeah, a lot of the stuff Akaza needed to be cut down is my main point. Like, a lot of it just needed to be cut down. Like, it just needed to be cut down. Like, just cut some of that parts out. I'm hoping what they do with because they did say they're going to try to release this anime. They're going to release the Infinity Castle next year. So I'm assuming they're going to release the movie and then they're going to have like an episode release for people who want to see this in episode format. So they're going to have like episode formatted release of every part of this movie. So I'm assuming like 7 episodes. But yeah, I'm assuming this is what they're going to do is like 7 episodes for this movie. And then another 7, and then another 7. Like, well, probably like 8, 9. Depends on how long they can get the episodes. I'm not really sure how that works, but probably like 9 episodes, which I would have preferred. But They gotta make that money. I'm assuming like 9 episodes for each movie, so that'll probably be like 27. So this movie will probably have like 9 episodes, if I'm guessing. So we will probably get like a 9 episodes, like just like we get from Mugen Train. I believe Mugen Train had 7 episodes, but that's because Mugen Train was a little bit shorter. This movie's a little bit longer, so we might have like 9 episodes. Heck, even 10. We might like have like 10 episodes for this, for just like one movie, because the Infinity Castle lasts for a very long time. Like, it's the longest arc. Like, it takes up the majority of the manga. Yeah, it takes up a good chunk of the manga. Yeah, but the Yakuza fight, I didn't. Anyway, I'm talking about what's gonna happen to the anime, but what's I thought about the Yakuza fight. It was awesome. I like that Akaza died, backstory. Then he died, satisfying death. And then the movie ends on a cliffhanger with Kobashibo and Doma. Kobashibo, and then we see Muzan yelling, saying, "Try to kill me," or blah blah blah. And our movie ends, and yeah, that's pretty much a good cliffhanger. I do enjoy the cliffhanger of this movie. It's pretty cool. We get a fight tease for Doma and Kobashibo. Not really sure who's gonna fight Kobashibo. From what I remember from like manga, spoiler, from the manga, I can't say who it is, but I know who. I believe I know who fights Kobashibo. I think. I don't know. I know who fights Doma. I just don't remember who fights Kobashibo. Yeah. But with that said, what do I think of this movie so far? Besides, pretty much, I do enjoy the movie. Don't get me wrong. I just think the Akaza stuff could have been cut down a little bit more. They could have cut that part down a little bit because it takes up a good majority of the movie. Like, a good majority of the movie is focused on Akaza. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people have noticed that a good majority of the movie focuses on Akaza. Like, they're just there for they notice the fight and they notice how cool it is, but they don't actually notice that most of the movie is focused on Akaza. Like, we should have, like, and I believe the Shinobu and Doma fight, and I know, is it just me, or it just feels like those fights just go by way too fast? Like, because but I think should have happened. Like, this movie should have been an hour long, and now 3 hours long. 3 hours and 12 minutes long. I think it should have been longer. Like, we should have an hour dedicated to each fight. I would have preferred that. Like, we get an hour dedicated to the Doma vs Shinobu fight. We get an hour dedicated to the Hangaku versus Zenitsu fight, and then we get an hour and a half dedicated, and then the rest of the movie was dedicated to the Akaza fight, like an hour and a half. This movie should have been like 3 hours and 30 minutes long, but they cut it down because it didn't. I feel like this movie should have been longer. Like, they just brushed through the Doma and Shinobu fights and Hangaku and Zenitsu fights just to get to Akaza. They just really brushed through it. Like, they just fight to them during the first hour of the movie, and then we just go straight to Akaza. They just brush through it. That's another issue I have. Like, those first two fights, they're cool and all, but they go by way too fast. They just go by way too fast. Like, I see him, it's like, oh my god, it's so cool. What's gonna happen next? Like, and then when it ends, like, no, like, and then you realize, wait a minute, if it wasn't. You look at the time, and then it's like, wait a minute, that fight wasn't long. So that's another issue I have with the movie, that the first two fights go by way too fast, and most of the time is focused on Akaza. But those are just minor issues. Like the whole movie is pretty cool. Like all the fights are pretty cool. Like don't get me wrong, I do think I enjoy the movie. It's awesome. It's peak. Like this is probably the best Demon Slayer has been in animation. Like the animation quality is pretty much top notch. Like my god, the animation quality is top notch. Like top notch. They didn't need to pull up the budget, but they did. Like the budget is like off the roofs for this movie. Like what the hell is the budget for this movie? Like I gotta know. What is the budget? What is the budget? Demon. Bruh. No fucking way. The budget for this movie was $20 million. $20 million. They the budget for this movie was $20 million, and the box office like 667. They uh, they definitely made them money back. So I'm guessing the next two movies are gonna make a lot of money. The budget's gonna be insane because of the amount of money this movie made. But yeah, the budget for this movie was like $20 million. That's insane. That's insane. The budget for this movie was $20 million compared to a movie made in Hollywood, which is like 100 million, 150 million, sometimes even $200 million. Look what is being done with a budget that low. Like what the heck? A budget with $20 million, just to show you what animation can do with a low budget. Like that's just insane. That the budget is $20 million. It's insane that the budget was 20 million. Oh, no man, it was about 390, but yeah. Okay, that's kind of okay. I don't know which is the budget. Some say it's 20 million. Others say it was 390 million. I'm not sure which one is true, but I'm not sure which one's true. If it was actually 390 million or 20 million for the budget, but it probably made its money back. Yeah, probably made his money back. But I enjoyed the movie. It was awesome. Peak, loved it. Would I rate this movie? 5 stars. I don't know. I didn't rate the other ones, so I enjoyed it. I'll probably put it above. How I rank this part above the other arcs? Probably above Swords. Probably above Swordsmith. Probably like the second best. It's been the second best since pretty much the second season. Pretty much since the entertainment arc. Because I think the entertainment arc was probably peak. That was peak. I remember the hype for that anime and how hype, what the hype was like for that anime. What the hype was for that second season. How hype people were for that second season. I remember the hype surrounding that second season was insane. It was like some other level. And when we actually saw the freaking Tengen versus Tengen versus Kogaku Kitaro fight. That was pretty much the most. It hasn't really surpassed Tetsen. It really has. No fight has come close to the epicness of that fight. Like that fight was epic. That was peak. I think the Akaza and Tanjiro fight and some of the fights in this anime do work, but I enjoyed it. I think a lot of these fights work. They're pretty cool. If I had to wait, my favorite would probably be the Akaza versus Akaza Tanjiro versus Gyu. Gyu and Tanjiro. Gyu and Tanjiro versus Akaza. I think that fight was probably my favorite because I did like how the fight was choreographed. Even though my main issue was, even though I said it, the Akaza fight took up majority of the screen time, but I did enjoy the fight, so it makes up for it. I do enjoy the movie; it's pretty awesome. But with that said, this is going to sign off, and remember, stay big, Demon Slayer fans. Happy Halloween, everybody. We'll see you. See you later. Bye. Wait a minute. Next month is November. You know what that means? Godzilla and Gamma month. Gamma. EC. I go there. The fuck? What the? I'm gonna pretend like I didn't. What the? I just heard like a big bang on my window. Happy Halloween. Bye. What the hell? Okay.